When a client calls first thing in the morning, sometimes you have to up your caffeine game. So what I like to do is put this cold brew into my coffee as creamer. Hello, that light is extremely bright in my eyes. Today on Inside Craft Show, we're going to talk about pre-production planning. Why it's important? I'll tell you why it's important. Because it brings quality levels up. Jeff, chalk please. That's a dry erase. All right, so here's what we're going to deal with. Pre-pro planning, right? So you have your project. P-R-O-G, yeah, that's how you do it. And you're all excited and you're ready to shoot and you've picked out your camera 7 months ago. So you've spent on a timeline 8 years thinking about the camera. You're even shooting film. You borrowed J.J. Abrams' camera from Star Wars and you're using that camera. What's that camera called?
Millennium Falcon.
The Millennium Falcon or the Death Star. You're using one of those to film your piece. So you know what camera, you got that, brah. The bigger issue is the project itself, and we want to talk about planning because here's what can happen, right? If you want to see your production value go like this, and your time spent doing it go like this, the easiest way to craft that is spending a little bit of time thinking about pre-pro. And I'm gonna be honest with you, pre-production is the most boring thing. All right, so the simplest way to attack pre-pro is just to think about the project itself. So you know that you're gonna break down, you've got your script, you've got your idea, you know where you're gonna go with it. So the first thing you should kind of look at is your locations, right? And you look at a full list of these locations, every single one of them. Let's say you have, or actually we'll use a real world example. Jeff and I have a job down in Tampa, and we have 7 locations over 3 days, right? And of those locations, 4 of those are exteriors and we have 3 interiors, where the interiors are a rain set. But that doesn't matter yet, right? So we have our 4 locations. We have beach, beach 2, we have bridge, right? But part of this is you have to take in all those. So now you know you've got a lot of exterior. Your exterior is higher ratio to your interior, but you've got to match them up. So the first thing that you want to look at each one of these is where is this location? So you're looking at the location of this one, of this one, of this one, of this one, and the other one, so forth and so on. So look at your locations first. So look at all of your locations and then where those locations lie on a grid so that in your mind you can say, oh, well, beach 1 is not close to beach 2, but beach 1 is close to the gym or the bridge, and you can kind of pair a schedule. So you basically take each one of your location options and you weigh those out. Then, if you have a chance to do a tech scout and you can show up there, you use Sun Surveyor that's both on Android and on iPhone. You take that bad boy, you go through it, and you suddenly give yourself a way of seeing where the sun will be. Because beach shots at the top of the day look like poop, but beach shots at sunrise or sunset look epic. But you're also going to be next to the gym. So let's build out this little schedule. So we'll just call it day 1. You look at your stuff and you look at day 1, and you know you can do beach 1 with the gym, and you can get the gym is close to the market, right? So there's your day 1 schedule, and you look at this schedule and you know where you are. Well, time of day wise, the gym says you can only be there in the morning, so the gym is now your AM, and you don't want to shoot the beach midday if you don't have to, so that's going to be your PM, which leaves your market for your midday, right? So now you've kind of worked out your schedule very simply based on that, right? And you do that for each one of the days, and you'll suddenly end up with a 3-day schedule, which is what we're doing. The catch to all of this, and the really tricky part of this whole scenario is, what happens on this day when we have 2 exteriors and it's going to be a rain day? Well, suddenly you have to get clever. So you need to look at the rain delays. What's that going to mean? Is it going to rain all day? Well, if that's the case, we probably need to maximize our time and shoot as many interiors as we possibly can. So now your day 1 shifts to being 2 locations because you can only get to the gym and the art center that day, just based on travel and distance. Because again, we've looked at location proximity, then we've built a schedule, and then we've looked at the weather element to adjust that schedule as you may need. So we have day 2 is now these, day 1 rather, is now these 2 locations. It's just the gym and the art center. But guess what? Day 2 looks like it's going to be a beautiful and sunny day. So that point, we go in and adjust this to be day 2. We get rid of the gym, and the market happens to be close to this bridge, or closer to the bridge. So now we can shoot out these 2 locations, which just leaves our last bit for day 3, right? Because again, it's another sunny day. In this particular scenario, we have the conference room, which is the bulk of our day, and beach 2, which in this case, we're going to shoot beach 2 in the AM, and the conference room is rest of day. In doing this, you now actually understand where your scheduling is and how you're going to accomplish this. So once you look at all this, you have all this content, that you have your schedule set up, you know it's based on a good concept. What does this basically tell you, and what makes it so exciting and important? You finally get to have your camera choice and your lens choice, because you now understand how they're going to relate to these days. Because I'll be honest with you, carrying around a 30, 40 pound red rig all through the sand does not sound fun to me, which I would make an argument for the GH5 all day. We've already proven, which we're doing. The GH5 will blend very well with the red, so you won't know the difference. Whereas on this day, on this scenario of just doing the gym and the art center, I'd argue for the red all day, because I would rather have that level of stabilization in terms of the red body and the build inside this space. And we're really going for a lot of slow-mo content that we can't get from the GH5. We want a lot of high frame rate, high FIPS, as we say, stuff, which is frames per second FIPS, right? And day 3, we'll probably use the GH5 and the red. So we'll let the red die out here. We'll shoot the GH5 in the morning, so we're prepped to go. I know it's boring. I know it sounds silly, but if you take the probably 30 to 45 minutes to do this when you do a project, I promise to you, your production value will shoot straight through the roof, and your content will look 1 million times better. This is a poor attempt at a whiteboard video, I suddenly realized midway through it. I just needed something to scribble on. Peace out.
Yeah.